Your birth father, he's here? Your birth father, he's in the room now. Oh my God. What's that? He's in here. What does that mean he's dead? Yes. Well, what happened? I mean, he should only be about 58. He says he felt lost after leaving the situation. He drank a lot. A lot. He went to teach English at a small liberal arts college. But the cost of losing you ate away at him, and eventually he drank himself to death from despair and loneliness. Immediately, I picture him as an associate adjunct professor, never quite tenured at a small liberal arts college, who occasionally had flings with his students until he was forced to resign after getting a 17-year-old pregnant with my soon-to-be half-sister, whom I would inadvertently flirt with on Nerve.com years later. And at night, he would sketch pictures of me with his feet so he could drink with both hands. And each picture was me in a different life, unlived, until his walls disappeared and my faces and became an unbearable womb. And then he had the world's first reverse orgasm and died like David Carradine, all for me. And I had one phone job interview. So, in this hypothetical modeling situation, what would be your solution, Mr. Barton? Suddenly, I had this vision of being a professor of shit biscuits somewhere in upstate Vermont-Sylvania, dreaming of ways to kill myself. Then I get caught up in all the details, like, what kind of suicide note, right? Should I use scented paper so people knew there were no hard feelings and I liked blueberries? If I handwrite the suicide note with my chicken scratch, people would be so pissed because they couldn't read it. If I type the suicide note, people would be so pissed because it's so impersonal. You can't win with suicide notes. Adoption suddenly mattered at that point. I wanted to be sure I didn't have some weird chemical imbalance that caused spontaneous bipolar schizophrenia once you lose your virginity. But there was no madness in my family. No, that's what they say. But the artist in me wanted something more, like your birth father ate your birth mother in an ancient moon ritual, and you were rescued at the last minute by the world's only living Catholic werewolf who dropped you off at a church somewhere during the new moon, because I'm a new moon birth. Or your birth mother was gang raped by bipolar aliens from outer space who are also part Italian. Yes! That is it. That fits me. Hey, you. What the fuck you looking at? Next thing. I am sitting at the phone about to call Catholic Charities, right? I get excited. I feel potent, right? I mean, this was 2001, when Oprah was at the height of her power. I imagine getting on her show so I can explain how Catholic Charities had offices with windows with little ears of corn on it, and all the employees trained by the Dalai Lama himself. My birth mother, she would respond right away, and she and I would meet in the same parking lot at Denny's where I was conceived and eat the same meal she ate right before and after, because the sex was so spiritually and physically multi-orgasmic she needed 2 meals. Because she was gang raped by the same bipolar aliens that inseminated the Virgin Mary. And I am an intergalactic superstar sent to deliver messages of love and hope and peace through words and music on really great ties. Shit! Shiznit, dog! I am a Jedi! Like my father before me, I am Sexy Yoda! Sexy Yoda! I keep seeing scrolls around your head. Are you sure you're not Jewish? No, but my ex claimed I was Judas Iscariot in a past life. Pretty sure he was a Jew. I mean, not exactly devout, but, you know, hey, in the ballpark. What about your parents? I don't know. Adopted. Oh. But maybe my birth father was a Jewish French alien man with this huge temper and this mad talent with no outlet, so it drove him to live inside abandoned cars. And my birth mother got drunk one night and passed out on top of him while he happened to be dreaming of his stepsister in non-sisterly ways. And he had this tiny little alien toothpick erection. And my birth mother was unintentionally impregnated and penetrated. And she walked around thinking she had been immaculately conceived and made up all my birthday to keep the Catholic Blaspheme Committee off her back. You got a funny way about you. You should be a comedian. Man, you're going to practice on that woman tonight. Everything you learned with the vagina pillow. Oh my God. What? I'm horrified. I run a fast inventory of the 40-plus women in the room, and of course Soul Wound can only remember the obese, disfigured 67-year-old woman. Please, God, I haven't touched a vagina in years. Please let the next one be post-Nixon. Please, that's all I ask. But then Soul Wound says no. No. It says, pray for that mutated clitoris to choose me. He says, pray. After stroking her essence to release one of her unused orgasms from 1965, she turns into the smoldering European bombshell. As I streak through my Oedipal phase, and that transatlantic cable wire between birth mother and I is cut forever. And all the lips I ever kissed in this life blow away like prehistoric feathers until what's left is this large, grand, unifying Om, pulsating on a heart-shaped waterbed made of electrified lime jello. I imagine dinner. After a mildly tearful reunion, Vito speaks. Hey, man, I have to go into town. It's like 76 miles away. Gotta take the ride in lawnmower. He leaves. Suddenly Paisley sprays me with shame fragrance. And I'm chained to I come to and chained to a 1955 radiator like a reverse Black Snake moan. Her breasts come at me like turbines with a camera installed in a nipple so my birth father can watch from an artificially built womb in the basement while he eats pistachio nuts and takes notes.